Hello, happiest of days to each of you folks. I hope you guys are having just an absolutely amazing day today. Today I'm doing on Monday I do reviews of top video game of older things like tabletop RPGs, war games like BattleTech, that sort of stuff too. And so I'm doing modules. I thought it would be fun after finishing up the UK series last week to get some of my top 10 beginner modules. These are ones that start with the level 1 in the game. These could be from BECMI or first or second edition too. And that sort of a thing too. All of these are ones that I played as a dungeon master and as a player too. But if it's good, I don't care what it goes to as long as it starts with 1. Now there were an entire series of modules that were done for basic level in BECMI, which is designed for first to third level to learn the game and that sort of a thing too. And so a lot of those will be hitting just now shortly. So here we go. Number 10. And this is really more of an honorable mention and top 9 because I wouldn't put it at the level as the others. But it's fine. And this is Puppets in the Greyhawk world by WG11 from '89. It's by Vince Garcia and George Rabe too, and that sort of a thing. I ran this and ran this in both sides too. It's good. I think it's fun stuff. What happens here? I don't want to keep it spoiler free, but the ideas, the creatures that it creates, the concepts are creepy too. I think a wizard is a particularly good, strong party member to have to run through with this one too. I think it's good stuff. Lots. And so I think Puppets and what happens here and the golems that are created and the created creatures and that sort of thing too. I think it's good stuff. I like it lots. So it's Puppets. Number 9 is N1 Against the Cult of the Reptile God by Douglas Niles from '82. This is a strong stuff. Love it lots. I ran this and such. I think this is great stuff. Love it lots. It's the first in the end series too. So it's good stuff. But my issue in it, and it's very, very good stuff. Kind of well developed out here, fleshes out the area nicely. You can do whatever you want to as a party, right? It doesn't have this sort of script typed in, right? You can the world's your limit, right? And that sort of thing too. My only issue is that it is hard, and so it says it's for levels 1 to 4. I would recommend not doing this with a bunch of first levels. Go into this with a little more experience and a little more of a capacity, or you will die. And that sort of thing too. But it's good stuff. So number 3 is one I don't think it's a lot of respect, and it should. And this is C3, The Lost Island of Castanamere. It's from Ken Rolston in '84. This is the only beginning modules of C. So basically, most of the C levels tend to be for higher level characters. So the C here stands for competitive. It was done in tournaments, and that sort of a thing too. I like that it's a little different. It's a little funky. It's a little fun and fun. Like it doesn't take it's a little fan. Its fantasy is more of a fun send up of the genre. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a wink and a nudge, but it has it has some fun little some things that are here from our age that got set back in time. Like it's got well done idiosyncrasies, love it lots. But it doesn't get the respect that it should. And that's number 8 on my list. C3, The Lost Island of Castanamere by Ken Rolston. Now number 7 is a classic. Well, this is T1, The Village of Homeland by Gary Gygax from '79. Right, the one that hit 2 slots of a gov by Gary Gygax is also for early levels and that sort of thing too. It has the village that's well spoken of. You can do whatever you want to with it. As soon as my characters arrived, my wizard, I sat down and traded some spells with the local wizards and that sort of thing too. It's great stuff, lots. So the Village of Home is like that one too. The reason why it's sitting a little higher to just 2 slots, but you get the idea, is because it's a little easier to do for early stuff. But it's not really designed for them either, for onboarding either. So this is a little easier to do, but I wouldn't say like it's this easy peasy kind of thing. Right? So that's the Village of Home by Gary from '79. Now, number 6 is another Gary Gygax one. It's the last hitting one, and this one is a murderous row. This is B2 that they keep on the Borderlands from 79. Also Gary Gygax too. Like I mentioned, also 79 too. So this was a sequel. So the basic set was designed to teach people the basic cores and basic concepts, a little simpler, and that sort of thing too. In 1 through 3, it started so initially it wasn't sort of considered this major thing. And so the first module will be hitting a little higher, and it was designed to teach dungeon masters how to make these sort of games, and it was a lot of onboarding and for players too, and that sort of a thing too. And I love that. And then B3 and B4 would keep that up too, but because it was actually, and it didn't sell that much money at first. But then what wound up happening was that after the Dallas Egbert scam put this game on the map in a major way, it really popularized it too as this countercultural thing. Lots of people went out and bought it. They picked up the base set and that sort of a thing. And because of the 5% sales that he got for gratuity, the guy who will be hitting number 2 made bank all of them down the block. And so Gary Gygax said, I think I want some of that. So we put together this module. Again, it's not designed for more onboarding. It is a murderer's row. It's much more rough than typical. You need to hire henchmen, you need to hire hirelings, right? You need to keep in order to go back to again and again and again to get healing, to get resting up, and that sort of thing too. It is a murderer's row, all up and down the block, and it doesn't have a lot of onboards with it either. But yeah, but I do like it. Its quality though is good, which is why it's hitting here at number 6 spot. All right, but it's hit the number 6 spot for those reasons. All right, number 5 is B6, The Veiled Society by David Cook from '84. I think this one is another underappreciated one, another one in the top 5 by David Cook. I think this is strong. I think the idea here in the basic set, this is all about dungeon exploring, learning the game and so forth. And then they said, why don't we change things up a little bit and push back against that? And so now we're going to have a political drama that is set in the city of Specularum in Karakamikis in my star. I love that. It's a nice little spin and that sort of thing too. And it's a murder mystery too, between 3 different factions that have happened in the thing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you give people, my only mystery issue is it can be pretty easy for a party going through it to figure out who is responsible. So just don't give them all that information. Let them have the work to earn it, and that sort of other thing too. But I think it's great stuff. And that is an absolute classic to my mind. The Veiled Society by David Cook from '84. Now, the number 4 one is Rahasia, 1984's by the Hickmans, and that sort of a thing too. Started it out as a module that was made outside of the game, then brought into the game as an RPG game, and this is the combination of 2 of those. In the Rahasia. Rahasia is an absolute classic to my mind, a forgotten treasure too, from B7. But basically what's happening here is that you have to free basically a princess, Rahasia, from a group of people that have taken over. And that sort of a thing too. It's classic, it's strong. It's also a little bit of a murderer's row that you keep on the Borderlands. But I think it's a little bit nicer and so forth. But the random dice can take away from your stuff. I actually ran into a dragon. So be prepared. That's at number 3. It is The Lost City by Tom Moldway from '82. This is a B4, again like B1 and B3. The Palace of the Silver Princess 2. I think the original version of that's much better than the other one that came out later. And that sort of a thing too, but because of that, it's hard to find it. And that sort of a thing too, but I think that would be also on my list too. That was never published either, officially. But yeah, so that would also be on here too. But this is Lost City by Tom Moldway from '82, and that sort of thing too. But it's basically, if you sell us, like I said, of Robert E. Howard's Cooney and stuff. Basically, what's happening in here is that you and your party is swept aside in a sandstorm. They're walking about trying to get themselves taken care of, and they come across the old pyramids with these old statues. And then sort of thing too, and they find underneath it an entire society of mask-wearing people. It's incredibly fun, incredibly chaotic, incredibly well detailed. In many of these things, you get to choose your own people, choose your own characters, choose your own adventure, choose your own stats, fill it out yourself too after a certain level. And that was the same thing that the first B1 and B3 did too. And then speaking of B1, that's ending up at number 2. Let's Search for the Unknown by Mike Carr. Again, he made all the bank from that. It's definitely designed to be an onboard ramp for Dungeon Masters and players in 7e too. I love it. It's great classic stuff. I think it's incredibly strong work that it does for all those reasons. And so I would start with this if you're starting that stuff out. Although it's not my number 1. What is my number 1? Great question. It's U1, the Sinister Secret. I put that in the wrong order for a bit there. Of Saltmarsh by David J. Brown and Dan Turnbull in 81. So this is the U1 series. This is basically the idea here is that some dark and ghosty things are happening in a haunted house, and you go take care of that and figure out what's happening. And that sort of a thing too. I love it. And that sort of thing too. The character here's here. The concepts are here great. All that stuff's great too. And if you go in that early on, before a lot of your biases are starting yourselves, I think it's a very fresh take on the haunted house and the dungeon delving and that sort of a thing too, right? For all those reasons. So I would run it for any group of people. So here's my top 10 once again. Number 10 is WG11 Puppets by Vince Garcia and Bruce Nesbrabe from 89. Number 9 is N1. This is Against the Cult of the Reptile God from Douglas Niles in 82. Number 8 is C3, The Lost Island of Castanera by Ken Rolston in 84. Number 7 is T1's The Temple of Holland by Gary Gygax in 79. Also in 79 is number 6, B2, The Keep on the Borderlands, and then also by Gygax too. And then top 5 is number 5 is The Veiled Society B6 by David Cook in 1984. Number 4 is B7, Rahasia by the Hickmans, also in 84 too. Top 3 down. Number 3 is The Lost City, B4 by Tom Moldvay in 82. Then number 2 is B1, the penultimate one, In Search of the Unknown by Mike Carr in 78. And the last one is from 81. This is the first U series, and it's The Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh by David J. Brown and Dan Turnbull. I absolutely adore these things, particularly everything after Puppets. Puppets is a nice little intro, but I wouldn't say it's the best of the best. Alrighty, but there you go for you folks. And so, have you played these? And if so, what did you think about them? Would these be your first ones in this order? And that sort of a thing too, to get people started with that are interested in the game from BECMI and first edition and second edition too. So let me know what your thoughts are too. Have you just sort of engage you with it further in the comments below, right? And then for the rest of the times, for my videos on Saturday, I do something I call Serial Saturday, which I dedicate to the forgotten storytelling genres of serials. Right now I'm doing Dick Tracy. I just watched yesterday, I'm recording some on Sunday the day before. I put it up on YouTube, and then yesterday I just watched the last one, Dick Tracy's. Dick Tracy's, again, versus The Crime Incorporated from 49. By Republic, and that sort of a thing too. So you can check out my reviews of those older serials. I've also done a first season of Doctor Who too, and then in classic first season, and then I've also done things in there like on Wednesday, Video Game Wednesdays, and that sort of a thing too. I do older video games. I just finished the Fallout series last week, and this week I'll be doing. This was more recent. 2 Point Museums. I already reviewed it a couple months ago, right after release, but they just released a DLC that I put about 10 or 12 hours into, so I'm going to be reviewing that. And then next week it'll be Stellaris. This is Biogenesis, and then I'll go back to older stuff. So you can check that stuff out too, if that's something that you should like and be interested in. And then again today I do reviews, like I mentioned before, of modules or RPGs and tabletop stuff, or middle earth role playing, or BattleTech stuff, in war games, that sort of stuff too, so you can check it out too. And then again, that's good stuff. And then the other 3 days a week I do reviews and some Let's Plays too, like Star Control 2. And then I do reviews of these older things that you read in this case, in science fiction, fantasy, and horror, two genres that we cover for this channel for here, folks. And that sort of a thing. So those 7 older things a week plus the occasional Let's Play here and there sound like your cup of tea? Then great. welcome to the channel and have a seat. I think you'll enjoy your time here quite a bit, right? And while you're here, if you would please do all the YouTube stuff, like the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon to be notified of those videos. And also the subscribe, share, all that stuff too. Alrighty, so there you go. I appreciate that lots. As you can tell from those seven other things and finding these things for you folks, that's the passion, right, of this channel. And it's even where its name comes from. The worst thing about new books, it's a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old stuff. Not that the new stuff's bad, it's not, right? But it's standing on the shoulders of giants, like these things in these old school vault modules. So let's check out those giants, right? And that sort of a thing too. Also, Gary Gygax in his first edition DM's guide, right, in Appendix N, he lists all of his sort of his things that he went to, his places, his sizes are, if you will. And I appreciate that more by going back and reading them. And I've read a lot of them for this channel too, right? And so you check that out too. And so that's also where the context of this and stuff like that too. Alrighty, so there you go. And finally, if you made it all the way to the end here, I just want to thank you so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing it, right? And watching my videos, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives. And we're pulled in so many different directions too, right? So like you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.